What is up, YouTube? It's Coffee. Back at it, man. And with the election in the books, a lot of discussions going on, man. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and commenting. As always, I always tell everyone who taps into the channel, I want to hear from you guys, the people. It's all about Coffee talking it up with you guys. And that's facts. You know what I mean? In the comments, as well as those live streams where you can call in. And if you're new, we talk music, news, sports, politics a little bit, and just much, much more. The politics things is a little bit newer this year. It's not something I typically follow up on, but it's just been such a crazy mess this year, you know? All the drama, all the flurry, I had to tap into it. But how about this, man? This guy crack me the fuck up. Who is this that said this, man, about this one-sided victory? Because I was like, man, is that considered a landslide? They're definitely calling it a decisive victory. I don't know, like, where it rates all-time electoral, you know, when they divvy up the electoral votes and all that, who won by the most. But this is being looked at as an ass whooping, more or less. And check out what dude said, man. He cracked me up. He said, as you see, 295, 270 is the magic number. Trump had 295, Harris 226. And then dude said, I haven't seen a man beat a woman this bad since the Olympics. Yo, that's crazy, man. You guys remember that old situation?
Well, why not just let all men compete in women's sports? Well, men would dominate, and that's why you have Title IX. There's a reason why men and women's sports are separated. Because it's not fair. This woman today got punched in the face by a man.
Damn.
Yeah. They let a transgender, there's apparently at least two transgender boxers that are fighting in women's boxing.
I don't understand.
You can't understand because you're not retarded. There has to be something wrong with you to understand. To think that makes sense, and all you have to do is say you're a woman. No, but you're not, though. I say I'm a werewolf, but when the moon comes out, I stay a person. There's no perspective. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Because that perspective would gray the line to like, well, why not just let all men compete in women's sports? Well, men would dominate, and that's why you have Title IX. There's a reason why men and women's sports are separated. Because it's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair.
There's a reason why the UFC has weight classes. You're not fighting Brandon Moreno.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's not fair,
yeah.
right? All these things are put in place to make things as fair as possible. Weight classes, gender distinctions. There's outrage all over the place about this one particular person that they're talking there that did test for an XY chromosome. That's a man. I know it sounds horrible to misgender someone and all that good stuff. All that's great until you want to fight women or even compete against women.
Believe that went on. That was absolutely preposterous. I mean, feel how you want to feel about that ish. I'm not going to tiptoe around it. I'm not going to be out here dissing anyone neither or whatever. You know, people need to stop being so damn sensitive. Period. Everyone with this oversensitivity, man. I mean, I'm a sensitive individual. You know what I mean? Y'all feel me? Like, I'm someone who's in touch with that side of myself. I ain't afraid to cry and ish like that, but all this oversensitivity, overprivilege, no one can tell me nothing ish going on is bullshit, man, and it's got to stop. What's this individual's name? Shout out to you for that comment. Harry Surge C3B, man. You killed it with that one. That was some funny ish, but I couldn't believe that. There was two individuals in there just beating the brakes off these women. One of the women was crying her eyes out like, yo, we busted our ass for years. Olympians train hard to get into their sport. Most Olympians are broke. They're not really getting money like that. And, you know, one fight was like 5 minutes long, or 5 seconds long. The one girl got hit like twice, and she was crying after when she regained consciousness. Like, hey, this is BS. We train in all this to have it taken away from us like this. Fluck out of here. And then what got even crazier, I don't know if you guys were paying attention to this, the WCB or WBC or whatever was saying, hey, we did all these tests. I did a separate video on this. We got to be careful how we address this, you know what I mean? But we did all these tests, and those individuals were not born FEMALE, right? And for that very reason, they should not be able to compete. Because I think we already saw that happen in like swimming or something like that, where there was a situation, some sport where there was like all these records set and it was just outrageous and they said no more, right? But in the boxing situation, the Olympic Committee overruled the WBC or WCB, or is that the same WBC or whatever, World Boxing, what is it? That, you know, governs all the big fights and everything like that. I believe it is, but the Olympics was playing BS games and just pushing this flucked up narrative, and that was the gold medal match. And you see Khalif won the gold against the other individual that was on the same type-ish. I forget what countries they were from. One was from Asia, one was from the Middle East, I believe. But that just is foul and wrong. And then what got even crazier is, on top of individuals just saying, hey, this is what I am. No, they were trying to say, like, no, they didn't trans-ition into that. They were born like that. And it's like, no. Fluck out of here, man. That's a bigger lie than their Adam's apples put together. And that's flucked up. And like this comment here, man, I swear. Again, Harry Surge, you're a G for that one. I haven't seen a man beat a woman this bad since the Olympics. Like, for real, man. Trump put it on Kamala Harris. Really gave her a whooping, man. You got jokes. Like I said, it's all about hearing from y'all. So hit the comments always, you know, like some funny jokes, some just good convo. But a lot of times I ask you guys to put me up on game or certain things of that nature. I always share. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just out here talking. If there's something that I'm not up on, I'm going to let you guys know. And I'm going to say, hey, fill me in. You know what I mean? And one of the things we were talking about as well is I saw some narratives going around where some individuals were saying, hey, Kamala Harris flucked it up, that if she didn't get on the ticket, that if Biden remained, they would have won, the Democrats, you know. Right here, dude says, demographic of the dumpsters win does indicate Biden would have won in PA and possibly other states. Dumping Biden was a huge mistake. It cost the election. Do you believe that to be true? Did it change up anyone out there? How you voted, if you want to talk about that. I would never ask no one to, you know, share it. But if you want to, did it change it for you? Do you think it changed it in general? The bigger picture, do you think that if Biden was still on the ticket, he could have defeated Trump? The world just wasn't ready for Kamala Harris yet, or just didn't trust her for whatever reason? Like, what does everyone think about all that? And check this out too, y'all, before we get into this 50 Cent Eminem talk in regards to the election. We got to go over one more thing here. Trump has a new vice president this time around, Vance, right? I didn't know that. Like I heard the name and everything, but I just wasn't really, you know, peeping into the situation like that. But apparently I didn't know this, that him and Pence have like beef, right? And I guess Pence, in reaction to Trump winning, is speaking out about like why they have tension and friction. And it says that Trump handedly defeated Harris in the election, and the AP declared him the winner early Wednesday morning after Trump won the battleground state of Wisconsin. He also picked up wins in North Carolina, Georgia, Michigan, and PA. And as of Wednesday night, he's leading Harris in AZ and Nevada. But apparently, Pence, you know, who got left behind, not a part of the Trump regime. Now this tension started back in 2021, January 6th, when Trump supporters stormed the Capitol and Trump refused to call off the rioters despite being told that Pence's life was in danger. Pence recounted the day in his memoir, So Help Me God. This was a quote. He said, "They had come to protest the result of the election and to prevent Congress from fulfilling its responsibility to open and count the electoral college votes. And as I later learned, many had come looking for me. So he felt like, in a sense, to me, it sounds like Trump could have helped him or whatever. Like he hung him out to dry. Like, hey, fuck you, Pence, you know? I don't know. I guess things went bad that day. Could you imagine that, though? You're in there. That's supposed to be your running mate, your right-hand man. You're on the same team or whatever, and they're storming a place. They're looking for you. I mean, why were they looking for him? What did they want him to do? Did things already go left between them? And I don't know. Or, like, was Pence supposed to tap in with them and wild out too? I don't understand it, man. Kamala Harris called Trump on Wednesday to concede and delivered a concession speech, which we covered in another video, and she spoke about it in there. It was like she took a couple of jabs at Trump, talking about, you know, it will be a peaceful transition of power. And, you know, the Trump campaign did put out a respectful statement saying Harris' strength, professionalism, and tenacity throughout the campaign, acknowledging it all. And the two candidates agreed on the importance of unifying the country, you know, because we heard her say that too. Like, the crowd was popping, was going crazy for her in her concession speech. I want to know that too. I asked this in a video yesterday. The day before, at her alma mater in DC, right? Was it Howard? HBC, Historical Black Collegiate University, that she went to. That was Howard, right? Yeah. That was supposed to be where she celebrated the win, but things didn't go that way. And the night before, there was someone giving a speech saying, you know, Kamala Harris will be here tomorrow. Sorry, y'all. And there was a lot of people upset and stuff like that. And I saw, like, people all over social network going in on her and all these flucked up racial narratives and saying she don't care about her people because she didn't come that night. And she came the next day and did her concession speech. I want to know from everyone. I was asking this in the other video. Is that bad etiquette to not show up then? Or is that all right that it took her a day to get her ish together? I'm curious. I want to know. But that's crazy about Pence, man. And Trump, like I said, I've seen the signs around Vance and Trump, right? Again, guys, I don't pay super duper close all to this political stuff like that. We just, this year was just too nuts. I had to, you know, tap into what was going on and talk with you guys. And again, anyone new, subscribe. Let's talk in the comments. Call into the live streams where you can call in and talk it up. It's a lot of fun. If you got jokes like bro did up there, make sure, you know, to hit the comments with those as well. But like, I saw the different names and it just didn't really click until now. Like, I didn't pay as much attention about it. So it seems Pence doesn't like Trump either. But how about this? This is interesting, as a lot of people have been celebrating the win. One of them has been 50 Cent, right? He put out a post the other day, that very night, 2 nights ago, right, saying, hey, in the end, I'm leaving with the winner, you know. And he had a couple pictures of him and Trump, and I shared in other videos, like, they have a long history together. Trump was on G-Unit mixtapes. 50 Cent based his reality television show off Trump's show, The Apprentice. They mess with each other. They got love for each other, despite what you may think. And that's interesting because you see someone commented about Eminem. As we know, Eminem and 50 Cent are like this, right? Like, their business, or I'm sorry, their relationship, their friendship transcends business. Like, these dudes really mess with each other. And it says, someone commented and said, in regards to Fifth rocking with Trump, he said, this is not surprising. 50 said in 05 or 04 that if he could vote, he would have voted for Bush. This is after Eminem released his song about Bush, Mosh, which you've seen that video playing throughout this video. It had the animated Lloyd Banks in there. Everyone was marching on some revolution-ish. Fuck Bush. And but you'll hear a clip of before we go into this freestyle that he released getting at Trump at, I think this was the BET Cypher.
It's the calm before the storm right here. Wait, how was I gonna start this off? I forgot. Oh yeah. That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it on Donald Trump? Probably not, but that's all I got till I come up with a solid... Got a plan and now I got a hatchet like a damn Apache with a tomahawk. I'ma walk inside a mosque on Ramadan and say a prayer that every time talks, she gets a mouth. I'ma stop. But we better give Obama props, cause what we got in office now's a kamikaze that'll probably cause a nuclear holocaust. And while the drama pops and he waits for to quiet down, he'll just gas his plane up and fly around till the bombing stops. Intensity's heightened, tensions are rising. Trump, when it comes to giving it, you're stingy as I am. Except when it comes to having to go against me, you hide them. Cause you don't got the like an empty asylum. Racism's the only thing he's fantastic for. Cause that's how he gets his rocks off and he's orange. Yeah, sick tan. That's why he wants us to disband, cause he cannot withstand the fact we're not afraid of Trump. Walking on eggshells, I came to stomp. That's why he keeps screaming, drain the swamp, cause he's in quicksand. It's like we take a step forwards, then backwards. But this is his form of distraction. Plus he gets an enormous reaction when he attacks the NFL, so we focus on that. And instead of talking Puerto Rico with gun reform from Nevada, all these horrible tragedies, and he's bored and would rather cause a Twitter storm with the Packers. He says he wants to lower our taxes. Then who's gonna pay for his extravagant trips back and forth with his fam to his golf resorts and his mansions? Same that he tormented Hillary for and he slandered, then does it more. From his endorsement of banning support for the Klansmen, tiki torches in hand for the soldier that's blacking, comes home from Iraq and is still told to go back to Africa, fork and a dagger in this racist 94-year-old grandpa who keeps ignoring our past historical deplorable factors. Now if you're a black athlete, you're a spoiled little brat for trying to use your platform or your stature to try to give those a voice who don't have one. He says you're spitting in the face of vets who fought for us, you bastards. Unless you're a POW who's tortured and battered, cause to him you're zeros cause he don't like his war heroes captured. That's not disrespecting the military. That. This is for Colin. Ball up a fist. And keep that ball like Donald the... He's gonna get rid of all immigrants. He's gonna build that thing up taller than this. Well, if he does build it, I hope it's rock solid with bricks. Cause like him in politics, I'm using all of his tricks. Cause I'm throwing that piece of against the wall till it sticks. And any fan of mine who's a supporter of his, I'm drawing in the sand a line. You're either for or against. And if you can't decide who you like more and you're split on who you should stand beside, I'll do it for you with this. You. The rest of America, stand up. We love our military and we love our country, but we hate Trump.
So what did you guys think of that, man? Did you like that? Whether, and let me know if you're a rap fan or not, or whatever the case may be. But the point here, what I like about this, right, is Eminem and 50 Cent, very, very close, right? And put this whole mosh track out. Well, first, let's talk about the Trump-ish. dissing him. He dissed him again this year. He brought out Obama. He had some more bars for him. He said something about him, but he also brought out Obama to speak on behalf of Kamala Harris, and that was a pretty epic moment. Obama was spitting bars, you know, mom spaghetti and all that. But 50 Cent, you know, flux with Trump, and that's cool. Like I've spoke about this so many times, that you don't have to fall out with your friends or family because they voted for the other side. Like, that is crazy to me, and it's been going on, man, over the last 10 years in this country. The political temperature amongst, like, there's just so much division when it comes to it amongst society is crazy. Like, real talk, I've seen friends, family members, fathers and sons, brothers and brothers and sisters fall out behind this kind of ish. Let me know if you've seen it as well. Everyone should do like Eminem, right? You heard that other thing where he was saying F Bush back then when the war was going on. How can we not forget that?
The city has changed dramatically, tragically, and perhaps irreversibly. There's now over 25 feet of water where there was once city streets and thriving neighborhoods.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. See a white family, it says they're looking for food. And you know, it's been 5 days because most of the people are black. And even for me to complain about, I would be a hypocrite because I've tried to turn away from the TV because it's too hard to watch. I've even been shopping before even giving a donation. So now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give, and just to imagine if I was down there, and those are my people down there. So anybody out there that wants to do anything that we can help with the setup, the way America is set up to help the poor, the black people, the less well off as slow as possible. I mean, this is Red Cross is doing everything they can. We already realize a lot of the people that could help are at war right now, fighting another way, and they've given them permission to go down and shoot us.
And subtle, but in even many ways more profoundly devastating, is the lasting damage to the survivors' will to rebuild and remain in the area. The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
Clip too, man. You guys remember Kanye West? He just came out of nowhere with that. Mike Myers, Austin Powers, the spy who shagged me, pause. He didn't know what to say, right? He was like, what are we doing here, you know? But Fifth actually, like bro put in this comment, 50 Cent actually said, you know, he would have, in 2005, right here, this is not surprising, 50 said in 05 or 04 that if he could vote, because 50 Cent is a convicted felon, he did a 3 to 9. These ran up in my crib, you know who dropping dimes, although he went to reception, shot camp, came home, I don't think ever violated parole. So he did a light work 3 to 9, but that's on his own accord by being smart and handling his business. You know, if he could have voted, he would have voted for Bush. He went as far to say, like, yo, Bush is a gangster, right? He reminds me of me. Like, I see some of me in him, which I don't really know exactly, you know, what to take from that. You know what I mean? Where is it? Yeah, during an 05 interview with GQ, Fifth and Kanye West won Men of the Year, and Fifth expressed a desire to meet Bush, whose approval ratings recently sank to around 29%, mostly due to failed strategy in the administration's war against Iraq. So he was shouting him out then, but then a couple of years later, right? And you've seen that clip, Kanye West getting at him, and you heard they both won GQ Man of the Year that year in 05, and later they would go head to head with their albums, right? Curtis and what was the Kanye album? I can't recall. Someone fill me in. But then he switched it up a couple years later in an interview in 2007 where he dissed him. And he said, what did he say? My bad, y'all. You know what I mean? 2 years before, Eminem's getting at him, dissing him with Mosh. Fifth is like, nah, he's a G. If I could vote, I would vote for him. I see a lot of him and me. This time around, he said, George Bush has talent. He has less compassion than the average human. By all means, I don't aspire to be like Bush. So he switched up in 2 years like, yo, he's a G. I respect him. We have some things in common. I see a little bit of Fifth in Bush. Pause. Then it was like, yo, this dude lacks compassion. Like, something ain't right with him. He's a bit off from the average human. And he did say, though, I want to meet George Bush, just shake his hand and tell him how much of me I see in him. That's when he was shouting him out. But yeah, he also said, too, in regards to what Kanye West was speaking about that, he said, I don't know where that came from. You know, he said that was an act of God. Like, you know, the way Fifth is getting at it, it's like he's saying, yo, Kanye was blaming Katrina on Bush. Like, that wasn't Bush's fault. Or, I don't know, maybe Kanye felt Bush wasn't doing enough. But, yo, some people, that's another thing. I don't want to get into too much into the conspiratorial tinfoil hat sector, right? But some people would say, that maybe not all weather storms and stuff are acts of God, that maybe they could be controlled, I don't know, or manipulated. You let me know what you think about it, man. But I just thought that this was interesting to point this out, that 50 Cent and Eminem, tight friends, the best of friends, they got each other's back. I've talked about this numerous times in many videos. I ain't gonna go all back over it, but Eminem saved 50 Cent's life in a way. He put him on. Fifth had a long, hard road. It wasn't easy for him to get in the game. He almost lost his life. He went through so much, and he kept plugging away in them G-Unit mixtapes, caught Eminem's attention, and the rest is history, and they've always kept it solid with each other. But they can stand on different ends of the spectrum politically. You know what I mean? Fifth can be saying, yo, I'm rocking with Trump, while Eminem's dissing Trump and putting out freestyles and all that, right? And you know, Fifth could be talking about, man, Bush is a G. I see a lot of me in him. I want to meet him. I want to shake his hand. But then again, he switched it up later, said, yo, this man lacks compassion. He's a bit off. But Eminem saying, hey, look, Bush, you don't got to agree on everything. You know what I mean? Like, people want to argue about every little thing nowadays. And once again, everyone, we're about to close this video out. Hit them comments, hard body. As you see, we featured a couple of the comments in these videos. Make sure to subscribe, get into the live streams. We also talk a lot of NFL stuff. It's football season, other sports, current events, music, all that. But we have a saying over here, let's agree to disagree. You know, like, we ain't got to argue. They ain't got to argue. They have different political views. It's all love. They're still homies. They're still bros. You know what I mean? So there you have it, man. Landslide. Do you call it a landslide? Again, shout out to the bro. What was his name, man? I gotta keep pulling that comment up. It cracks me up, man. He said, Harry Shug C3B, haven't seen a man beat a woman like this since the Olympics. And you know, Real Roy Rogers, you know, said taking Biden off the ticket is what did it. Do you guys believe that to be true? Things would have been different had Biden been on the ticket. Could he have beat Trump? And then if you don't believe so, I want to know as well. I asked this question in another video, right? Because Kamala Harris wouldn't have won the primary, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? It was given to her. So if it didn't go that way, who else besides Biden or Harris would you think might have gave Trump a run for his money election-wise? on the Democratic ticket? Leave it in the comments below. The Mike Pence Trump beef, those Eminem diss tracks, do they still hold up today? And Eminem 5th, you know, keeping it solid and just having different beliefs. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, if you fell out with someone, if you're one of those people that are beefing with a family member, a friend, a loved one over this ish, yo, go dead that. It ain't worth it. It's kind of, I don't want to say stupid because I don't want to be calling anyone stupid, but we'll just say the ish has gone too far and leave it like that, man. But that's going to do it for this one. It's been another episode of Coffee, updating on all these topics. Look forward to hearing from you in the comments. Once again, subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. And I'm gone.